Welcome to Vital Life Stories. Today we explore how sudden endings can surprisingly become the beautiful beginnings we never knew we needed. Meet Arun, a dedicated young man who poured his heart and soul into his corporate job, believing his future was secure. The office was his second home, a place of structure and routine where he felt valuable, productive, and seemingly indispensable. But life is unpredictable. One Tuesday morning, a sudden announcement shattered his world, leaving the office in a state of chaos. The company declared immediate bankruptcy. Doors were locked, lights turned off, and hundreds of loyal employees were suddenly left without direction. Arun stood outside the glass building holding a cardboard box, staring blankly at the facade that once defined his entire identity. Walking home felt like a nightmare. The noise of the city faded, as heavy anxiety about the future clouded his mind. How would he tell his wife? How would they pay the bills? The weight of responsibility crushed his chest with fear. Days turned into weeks of rejection emails. Arun sat at his kitchen table, head in hands, feeling invisible to the world. The silence of the house was deafening. He felt like a failure, unable to provide for those he loved the most. He wandered the city streets aimlessly, looking for any sign of hope, but only saw busy people with places to go. Every closed door reminded him of his loss. He felt discarded by society, a gear that no longer fit the machine. Exhausted and defeated, he sat on a park bench near an old, dusty workshop, watching dust motes dance in the sunlight. The smell of sawdust and varnish drifted through the air. It was a sharp contrast to the sterile air of offices. An elderly man with weathered hands and kind eyes stepped out, noticing the young man's heavy burden and deep, silent sorrow. The old carpenter smiled gently, inviting Arun closer, not to offer a job, but to offer a moment of human connection. Arun shared his story of loss. The carpenter listened intently, nodding as he sanded a rough piece of oak with care. The old man spoke softly, saying that life often closes one door forcefully, just so we can see another open wide. He explained that wood must be cut and shaped to become furniture. Pain is often the chisel that sculpts our character. Intrigued by this wisdom, Arun looked around the shop. He saw beauty in the raw materials that were waiting to transform. The carpenter offered him a chisel. It was not a job offer, but a chance to heal his mind through work. Arun held the tool awkwardly. His hands were used to keyboards, not wood, but he felt a spark of curiosity ignite. The first cut was rough and uneven. Yet the physical act of creating something tangible felt surprisingly grounding and deeply satisfying. He returned the next day, and the next. The workshop became his sanctuary, a place where he could rebuild his confidence. Learning was not easy. He made mistakes, ruined wood, and got splinters. But the old man taught him patience and grace. Slowly, his hands gained strength and precision. He learned to read the grain of the wood and respect its natural flow. He discovered that, unlike corporate reports, a well-made chair or table brought immediate, tangible joy to people who would use them. The anxiety about status faded. It was replaced by the pride of craftsmanship and the simple, honest rhythm of manual labor. Months passed, and the apprentice became a partner. Arun's designs blended modern utility with the traditional warmth of the old style. He realized he was not just shaping wood. The wood was shaping him, smoothing out his rough edges and inner fears. One day, the carpenter handed in the keys. He was retiring, leaving the legacy of the shop in Arun's capable hands. Arun renovated the space, turning it into a bustling small business. Customers loved his story and the quality of his work, Orders poured in. He hired others who were lost, just like he once was, giving them a chance to find purpose. His wife visited the shop, seeing a new light in his eyes. He was no longer the stressed corporate worker, but happy. They walked through the showroom together. The fear of poverty was gone, replaced by a stable income and a fulfilling life. Arun looked back at the glass building where he was fired. He felt gratitude for that painful day of rejection now. Had he stayed there, he would never have smelled cedar, felt the grain of walnut, or met his wise old mentor. Success is not about a title on a business card. It is about waking up with purpose and creating real value. The old carpenter visited sometimes, watching Arun lead with kindness. The cycle of mentorship and growth continued in this humble workshop. Arun understood that his true potential was hidden behind the safety of his old job. The crisis was actually a liberation. Life creates storms to wash away the path we were not meant to travel, revealing the road we must truly take. If you are facing a closed door today, do not despair. It might be the universe guiding you to your destiny. Trust the process of transformation. Your greatest loss could be the necessary step toward your greatest gain and your true self. Thank you for watching Vital Life Stories. Remember that every ending is just a new beginning waiting to be discovered.